Hey, everybody, how is it going? I am so honored today to have special guest with me, JJ Voss, 8 time Saskatchewan Country Music Award winner, which includes Male Artist of the Year 2021, 2022. Mr. JJ Voss, how are you, man?
Hey, it's good to be with you. I'm doing well, thanks.
Man, what a great new single you got out, Letter to Dad. Great single. Playing it
Appreciate
every
that. Thank you.
playing it every day, getting requests every day for that song. Just featured in J.K. Willow's tour of Canada, Hello Canada article about you, the bio read.
All right. Yeah.
Read that. She's one of our writers from the Harmony Chronicles magazine. She's doing this little expose on entertainers all across Canada. What a great song, though. But we'll get to that. Hey, tell me what it was like growing up, JJ Voss, because I read your bio and it really sounds interesting. Small town Saskatchewan, 100-year anniversary for the family farm. So, got to have an interesting story.
I suppose it was interesting. It's not a lot different than other kids, I guess. My the small town where I grew up near, music wasn't really. It was a sports town. It was all about sports, and I figured out at a pretty young age that that really wasn't my deal. I wasn't very good. I was terrible at hockey.
Yes, me too.
I was a pretty good skater, but I couldn't do anything with the puck. So it made for a lot of cold mornings sitting on the bench. And so it was at kind of at a young age that at that I figured I needed to do something, or my folks knew that they needed to get me involved or engaged in something to keep me out of trouble, I guess, more than anything. So I got into music.
Wow, and supportive. I guess the parents are pretty supportive of the music career. Like you're in the. Like, it's not like you've been just in this yesterday. 2 decades of country music.
Yeah, I've been around a while. This is all I've ever done for pretty much my whole, from the time I was 15 years old, my dream was to play music for the rest of my life, or do it for a living. And so far, so good.
Yeah, it's I went back and I've searched out some of your stuff from Spotify and all that. Great, your numbers are getting there, like 1,500 followers. Are you monthly listeners? Just over 1,500 on Spotify. Facebook page growing every day. How important is social media to you?
Well, it is. It's kind of that love and hate relationship. It's you hate the amount of time that you spend on it, but it's still it's the most effective form of communication and the most effective way for me to connect with my audience. So at times you feel like you work for them because that's kind of how it works. It's a free service, so you got to put the time in on it.
Yeah,
But
true enough.
it is wonderful to stay connected with people and also to get to know the people that like what I do from in my career.
Does it surprise you sometimes that just out of the blue people want to follow you, be your friend, and communicate with you on, let's say, Facebook or something, and just because they heard one song of JJ Voss's?
Well, it's great. I mean, that tells you that that's kind of why I do this to begin with, is to connect with people and to hopefully find some sort of you know middle ground. Or when somebody or at least for me, when I as a music fan, when I hear a song that hits home with me, it makes me feel like someone else understands, and that
Sure.
there's you're not alone. And that's basically what our job is as songwriters and artists, is to connect with the people on that level. So when somebody reaches out for that reason, that's validation.
Yeah, it's true. What a great comment that is. So 2 times Male Artist of the Year, man. That's a pretty big honor for Saskatchewan CMA. Like, what a great deal that
Yeah,
was.
you
Two
know,
years
I,
running, 2 years running in a row, right?
yeah, it's great. I've had a shitty attitude towards awards uh, for many years. Maybe it was because at that time I wasn't getting any awards, but um, it's one of these things. It's not why I do, why I play music and why I write songs. But I won't lie to you. It really helps as far as when you're doing it for a living as a business. Those type of accolades really help to, it helps me drive further down the road, and it helps me get out there. So, and then the flip side is these awards are given to you by your peers. So it does feel good when your peers give you a pat on the back. There's no two ways about that.
Speaking of peers, you've worked with some pretty big names in country music. Like how's that compared to 2 decades ago?
Well, it's kind of been a progression just because I've been involved in at, my career has kind of had ebbs and flows where I started out right out of high school as a guitar player in a cover band playing bars. We used to play 6 nights a week. And so at that point, that was me being a professional musician. I didn't have uh, I never grabbed the bull by the horns or reached out for that brass ring. I figured, this is being a professional musician. That was it. But I really, really wanted to be that singer songwriter troubadour, touring, singing my own songs. And I didn't really realize that dream until later. I was in my 30s before I started pursuing my career in that fashion. But
So
and then along the ways, in order to make a living, once the bar scene had wound down and it wasn't a thing anymore, I got into audio production work as a live audio engineer. So that's kind of where I guess I probably made my biggest connections, or how I got involved with some big names in the music industry. And that's so it's been a winding path all the way along. But over the years, I've managed to, I've managed to connect with some great people.
And it's a fantastic career. If you got a chance, folks, go in and check out JJ Voss's Facebook pages, and of course his YouTube. Some great videos, man. You got some great videos on your page. You've got your web page is fantastic. Videos on there. You got your music on there, which is cool. How do you think streaming's actually taken the value off of music, like, to the artist?
I don't
Because
know.
people can stream it for free, download it, take it anywhere. Like, how many people is it hurt your financial stay being, I guess, is people still hitting that 99 cents?
Yeah, I guess I couldn't answer that because, yeah, I guess to a degree I can. My career has been long enough that CDs I used to sell more of them, I suppose, and when
Yeah.
people listen to it on that, so it kind of hurt my pocketbook right there. But with that being said, it's you're never going to stop it. You're not going to stop progress, and that's just where things are. I was like I listened to a lot of podcasts myself, and I remember one lady who had explained it quite succinctly, and she says, "Well, the idea of monetizing music and selling it as a commodity, if you look at it, on a timeline of a grand scale, it was a very, very short blip when humans were able to capture it and sell it as a
True.
commodity. If you look way back to ancient times, traveling minstrels, they got paid by playing live,
True.
and that went all throughout time until, like, say, in the 20s and the late 20s and 30s, when they started to capture on recordings, and then up until where we're at now. So that's probably about 70 or 80 years. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty small snapshot.
Yeah,
So
and of course 2020 helped us all change into our great internet era in a quick hurry. Like, for artists like yourself, online and streaming became a thing, and it just became what we had to
well, it
do.
had to. Yeah, it was either that or quit. There's no way to survive. But so yeah, that's a long-winded answer to that. But uh, I guess the one thing that's change is constant, and like
That's it.
any industry, but especially the music business, you got to be willing to change and adapt, or else you better find something else to do. Really,
Well, yeah, music itself, do you think it's changed in the last 2 decades since, JJ decided we're going to play some bars and get into, music? Like, how big has it changed your life?
myself personally, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I guess the focus as a young adult, when I was just getting out of high school, at that time, like I said, I thought I was a professional musician because I would learn some songs and go get paid to play those, learn the newest song that's on the radio, go play it for a bar full of people, and get paid. At that point, I thought I was a professional musician and I was in the music business. But I really wasn't. I was selling beer for bar owners.
Yeah, true enough.
But with that,
I've heard that said once before. It was a rock guy that I was interviewing, and he said the exact same thing. Playing the bars is making the bartenders and the bar owners rich. Well, they hand you $500 at the end of the night, and they're pocketing thousands. It was like,
there's that. But I guess I maybe to look at it a little more balanced. I did get a lot out of it. As far as learning my craft, I learned how to listen. I learned how to play. I learned how to interact with an audience. You had to, learn how to front. So there was a lot of great things that came out of it, and so I wouldn't look at it as a negative. It was just, a stage of my career. It was a stage of my life.
Very well put. So a special event happened this summer to you.
Yeah, I got hitched. Me and my my girl got
off the market.
We got married I've been off the market for a long time,
but now you're really off the market. You know what I mean? When you put that ring on, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, well, we made it official, so it's good. We had it was pretty neat. We some of my longtime friends and the guys that play in my band, they played for the wedding, for the reception. So we made it a jam session. They played an hour set to begin with, and then it turned into a jam. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when I was researching you. I researched Facebook, and I put JJ Voss, and geez, JJ Voss music came up. JJ Voss, your personal page, and then all of a sudden I looked down and there's JJ Voss's wedding. Pictures of your wedding all over the internet. But yeah, so new song, new single out, Letter to Dad. Tell us about it. Where did that come from?
Well, that came from September the 30th of this year. We reached the 100-year milestone of the land being in our family name. And, it's a very special, home is a very special place to me, like it is for everybody, I guess. But my dad passed away 9 years ago. So unfortunately, he wasn't here to celebrate it with us, but him and I were very, very close. And his dream was to see me go on to take over the farm and, follow in his footsteps. And that probably isn't going to happen or hasn't happened. And so more than anything, I guess I feel a sense of responsibility in order to try to keep to keep it intact, to keep, he was second generation. I would have been the third, or me and my siblings would have been the third. But so we're trying our best just to kind of keep the wheels turning. We've got the land rented out now to some wonderful tenants, and they do a fine job of looking after the land. And at this point, we're able to we're keeping things going. I don't know how long we're going to be able to, just because siblings don't get along at the best of times. And
enough, yeah.
When you have 4 siblings and everybody's got, and in fairness, it's maybe not even tenable to think that it's possible, just because everybody's at a different stage in their life and everybody has different priorities. So we've got it for now, and we're trying our best to enjoy it and to keep it for as long as we can. And maybe with a little bit of luck, we'll be able to find a way to keep things, keep the land in our name.
Yeah, but it's a great single. Like, is it, man, I can't say nothing about it. When I heard that song, it took me back to my own dad, of course. And,
right.
It means a lot. We get requests for it all the time in our radio station. Play it. Good friend of mine, and didn't know was a good friend of yours, Pinky Sims, actually said, here, I got a guy that you need to hear. And when she sent to me, I laughed because I've been a fan of yours for a while. So it was like, it was great. And it was the farmer song that got me. Great song. Brought me back to my childhood and my dad's style of music, listening to it. And it was like, wow, that brings you back, right? And a great album. Got to tell you, I spent the last few days listening to your music. What a great sound you got, man. It's unique.
Thank you.
It's very unique. And it's great to have you here with us here on In Conversation. If you guys want to check out JJ Voss, check him out at jjvoss.com. And of course, hit up the store got to hit up the artist store all the time. I looked in your stores, great merchandise in there. So, folks, get in there and support JJ and buy some of his merch and his music. And of course, get on there and get the Letter to Dad. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, JJ, thank you for joining us here on In Conversation. I know you're a busy guy. I won't want to keep you very long. So, I hope to talk to you again. I really do. I hope you'll come back and join us.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, Don, and I appreciate the support. And it means the world to me.
Yeah, and you know what? You coming on means the world to us, and we'll continue to support JJ Voss. So keep sending us your singles, and we'll get them out there. And I'm
great. Well, follow me on Spotify. That's apparently that's.
You know what? I did.
Right, that's supposed to be the most important thing, is to gain followers. And with my my demographic and the fact that I took some time off from my career, the streaming thing became big and real, and I'm kind of late to the game, so I'm trying to get my numbers up.
Yeah, you bet. So, yep, hit him up on Spotify. Follow him. He's growing in numbers quickly on Spotify. So you can find it at JJ Voss on Spotify. He's got Letter to Dad out there already. Great tune. It's a great song. I'm going to keep saying it so people get it in their head, and then all of a sudden they're just going to have to go home and click it, right? So thank you again for joining us, JJ Voss. Check him out, jjvoss.com on Facebook, and of course all the streaming pages, including go over to YouTube, do that too. Anyway, thank you for joining us in Conversation. We'll see you next time.
I can still feel you out in these hills. It brings me peace and it gives me chills. Roots 100 years deep in this dirt. Gotta find a way to make this work. Now the title's clear and the bills are paid, and you left us kids with a choice to make. We can walk away or see this through. If only the ends would meet like they used to. But I won't give up and I don't complain. I've got your stubborn will and I bear your name. I shook your hand and I gave my word. I'm gonna find a way to make this work. Leave the light on in the yard, hoping I would find my way back to this farm. When it feels like I've lost my way and I'm all alone, I always find myself when I come home. So I won't give up and I don't complain. Stubborn will and I bear your name.